Apple has been fined $2 million in Brazil for not including a charger with the iPhone 12. Did Brazil's consumer protection regulator get it right? Let's discuss. So this news comes courteous 9 to 5 Mac that I picked up on while browsing Reddit this morning. So I'll read and then we'll discuss. Procon SP, the Brazilian consumer protection regulator based in Sao Paulo state, fined Apple on Friday for not including a charger in the iPhone 12 box. The fine is around $2 million for misleading advertising, selling a device without the charger, and unfair terms. This is not the first time Procon SB questioned Apple about its new policy. Last October, the consumer protection regulator questioned the company about it, and in November, the agency said the iPhone maker didn't demonstrate environmental gain. The regulator cites a number of things in the report that amount to allegedly Apple having unfair consumer practices in Brazil, and thus that is what warranted the fine. However, $2 million, I am sure Apple is quaking in its boots. However, is the regulator onto something? Is Apple being a bit disingenuous about their iPhone chargers and the reason that they didn't include it with the iPhone 12? The regulators seem to have an issue with Apple not dropping the price of the iPhone because there's no adapter in it now. So obviously the iPhone should cost less for Brazilian consumers. However, that really doesn't track because Apple doesn't sell their iPhones for cost plus some kind of percentage. They sell their iPhones at the cost that they assume people are going to buy them at. There's a bit of downward pressure on Apple's prices so that they don't appear to be totally gouging the customer. But on the other hand, they charge what they think they can charge. An iPhone costs whatever it costs because people are willing to pay that price, not because it costs Apple a certain amount to make an iPhone. But is it disingenuous on Apple's part to say, well, if we don't include a charger, then there'll be less produced and thus less e-waste? But should we give Apple the benefit of the doubt? After all, a lot of us have enough of these power bricks that we can, start trying to juggle them. But then again, Apple is the company that brought us the lightning cable. This cable? Well, any company that creates a device that connects using the lightning cable to, like an iPhone, they have to give Apple a little nice bit of profit. This is despite the fact that there is, standards for connecting devices like USB-C. Although, to Apple's credit or in their ledger is the fact that Lightning is in fact half the size compared to a USB-C. So there is perhaps some benefit to using Lightning over USB-C currently. Although that doesn't stop a lot of high-end Android phones from using USB-C. So maybe that isn't a great argument. And Apple's own devices, the iPads, are now starting to use USB-C. Apple claims that if they got rid of the Lightning connector, that then devices that utilized it would be all thrown in the trash heap right away. I don't think that's quite true. I've been to many a hotel that has a clock radio with an old 30-pin connector, the big wide one, and those were thrown in the trash. They continued to function as clock radios for well past when the 30-pin connector was actually being sold. So where does that leave us? Realistically, we can only use Apple's previous behavior to predict what their current behavior is. And it doesn't look that great. Apple previously used things like MagSafe, which, has a little bit of innovation. And likewise, the Lightning cable, it's a nice, tiny connector. That means their phones can be smaller, more lightweight, or have more battery life. That's all great. But, not including the bricks is making Apple profit. And I wish my bricks gave me profit like that. Come on, that would be a cool trick. And if Apple was using USB-C with their phones, there wouldn't be that nagging sense that Apple is using this to profit. It would be much easier to swallow Apple's line that this is all for the environment, and that people shouldn't complain that there's no power adapter in the box, and that the regulators in Brazil got it all wrong, that they are in fact on the side of consumer. And so, in the nutshell, the issue is because Apple isn't using USB-C, it isn't clear whether they're doing this for the environment or, well, if you have to buy one of these, you're netting Apple profit. Thus, removing them from the box is in Apple's interest. Which is it? Which one do you think it is? Is Apple just selfishly profiting off of removing power adapters from the box? Or is there an environmental reason? Feel free to leave a comment down below on what you think. This has been Matthew. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Well, it's true. A lot of people... Well, it's true.